YouTube for over a year, and I still have not shared with you guys my favorite books of all time. I may have mentioned a few in a couple videos, but this is a video that needs to be on my channel. I don't know why it's not on there yet, but I mean, hello, it's on here now. Laying the groundwork here, these are my favorite books of all time. Some are new favorites, but these are the books that have just like given me all the feels. That's how I considered them my favorite books, as if I love them to death. I'm constantly thinking about one of them at least, and I want to reread them, or I have reread them. Unfortunately, since I'm still reading them, I'm not putting Harry Potter in my favorite books. I mean, they're not. I mean, I didn't get to grow up with them and just reading them now. I mean, they're my favorite movies. But yeah, so don't be yelling at me in the comments. We're like, why isn't Harry Potter on your favorite list? So my first favorite book is a new favorite. I read it this year. There's a whole discussion about them on this channel if you really want to check them out. But it is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I really enjoyed these books this year. I read them February, March. I just plowed through the first 3 of them. But it's a retelling of story tales. It's like Once Upon a Time for the future, but with like robots and aliens. And yeah, I mean, Once Upon a Time is like my favorite television show, so I mean, of course I'm gonna love this one. My next favorite book is another new favorite that I read this year that I didn't review. I should review this. I don't have the actual book, I have the jacket because my friend borrowed it. But it's Can You Keep a Secret by Sophie Kinsella. I read this book in June of this year, 2014, and I just fell in love with it. I mean, I zoomed through this. I read this book so pickin' fast. I have never read a book that fast before, and I just loved it. I think it's like 300 pages. I mean, I can't tell. I think it is. I think this is 300 pages. It is so cute. If you have not read a Sophie Kinsella book, this is my favorite. I've read 4 of hers. It's adult contemporary, and I love adult contemporary. I love adult contemporary more than I love YA contemporary, just because I connect more with the characters' ages. Can You Keep a Secret is all about this young woman who is working at this big company. She doesn't really know what she wants to do for her career, so she's just kind of moved into different workplaces, and right now she's working at this big company. And they sent her to Ireland to give her a chance, and she comes back on the plane, and on this plane ride she's sitting next to like this mysterious man. They go through some turbulence on the plane, and she's like freaking out, and she just literally just starts telling him all of her stupid secrets. Like, it's hilarious what she tells him, and he doesn't say anything, he just listens. This book made me laugh out loud. Usually Sophie Kinsella's books are mainly focused on career. Like, there's the love interest, but it's mainly like how the character progresses in her career and like how she gets the gold at the very end. You should pick it up if you are having a down day or you just really want a cute read. You'll love this. My next book maybe should be higher up on the list because I talk about it so much, but I'm just kind of sticking it in the middle, I guess. It's Twilight. I mean, I can't not put this in my favorite books of all time video. This just started it off for me. I mentioned it in my top 10 most influential books, and it is the most influential book in my life. It is why I am here today on BookTube and doing writer things and entertainment writer and on red carpets and stuff like that, and I just love it so much. If you guys haven't checked out my Shocking Confessions as a Twihard or Shocking Confessions, Twilight Shocking Confessions, I forget what I titled the video. It's funny, and I talk about the good times as a Twihard and all the insane things I did. I'll leave it linked down below. You can go watch that after this video. I don't think I need to explain how this one goes, right? There's movies. My next book is one of my favorite series ever, and it is City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, and this is my favorite book in the entire series, all 6 books, and I love the Infernal Devices. I do think I like the Mortal Entrance better than the Infernal Devices. I don't know, there's just more books to love. If you still haven't finished or picked up this series, what you doing? You gotta give it 2 books, and then this book is like the best book of them all. I really love City of Heavenly Fire, but I still think this is my favorite book. Do I need to explain the summary of this? No. My next favorite book of all time is Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. This is my favorite Rainbow Rowell book, although I have not read Eleanor and Park yet. I think this should be the movie that needs to come out. Attachments, I have a review on this too. So yeah, I love this book, a new favorite this year, and I just, oh my gosh. It's an adult contemporary. It's so freaking good. I loved it. It was so cute, and I just love the characters. I related to Beth so much, and if you guys have read Fangirl and Eleanor and Park and Landline, and you haven't read this one yet, and you're not liking any of those, which you probably, I mean, you have to like Rainbow Rowell's books, but like, if one of them is not your favorite, then this one is probably your favorite. This main character's name is Lincoln, and he works in the tech department by himself at nights, and he goes through people's emails to see if they're doing anything bad. This is like 1999, before like computers were everything and phones were everything, and so he monitors people at this workplace, and he gets attached to these emails that Jennifer and Beth send each other. Just read it, it's lovely. This book I've talked about so many times, and I love it dearly. It just, oh, it was so good. So good. And it is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. This is a Christian historical romance novel, but I do think you can obviously read this if you're not a Christian, because it's just a great story. It's so good. I love historical romance, and this is just really good. Just really good. I read this a couple years ago. This is adult, by the way. It's adult historical fiction romance. And it's basically the retelling of the book of Hosea. I think that's how you say it in the Bible. It's set in 1850 when the California gold mining was still ongoing, and it's set in California. It's about this man who wants to marry this prostitute. And she's not a Christian. Lots of turmoil, lots of running away, and it just kind of breaks your heart a couple times, but I mean, it's good. That's what you want in a book. You want a book to break your heart and then put it back together again a couple times. I mean, that's what makes a good book. This next book is one of my very, very, very favorites, the series is, and I just did some amazing things because of it, and that's Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I got to go to the premiere of the movie and just do a lot of fun things because of this movie and the books, and I wish there was another movie, but unfortunately it's not gonna happen. But the books are good. I don't care what anyone says about Vampire Academy. This is like one of my all-time favorite book series, and I want to reread these, and I need to read Bloodlines. I love Rose and Dimitri so much that it's really gonna be hard for me to move on and read somebody else from the universe. Rochelle Mead's writing is just gripping, and you get kind of addicted to it. If you picked up the first one, you're like, ugh, I didn't really like it. You have to keep going because they just keep getting better, and the last book is so good, and it's long, and it's just glorious and wonderful, and I miss it. I miss it so much. Do I have to give you a summary of it? I guess I'll try.
It follows two best friends. Okay, it's about best friends. And one is Rose, one is Lissa, and Rose protects Lissa because Lissa is royalty, and royalty has to be protected because they are getting hunted by the Strigoi, which is the third vampire. Rose is the Tampia, and Lissa is the Moroi, okay? So there's 3 different types of vampires in this, and it's just good, and you follow their adventures, and there's romance, and drama, and action, and pain, lots of pain, lots of pain.
Being a practicing evangelical Christian young woman, I have to put my favorite book of the Bible in this video because it was actually, I think, one of the first books that I really enjoyed, and it's very small, but it is the book of Esther in the Bible. It's in the Old Testament, and I remember reading this really young, and I just fell in love with her. Like, this is what made me love the Bible, was reading about Esther, and Esther is one of the very few women in the Bible who has her own book and story about her. It's a story. There aren't very many stories in the Bible. The Old Testament, there are a lot of stories, but it's like a real story. It's like you're reading a book. It's obviously about Esther, and she gets chosen by King Xerxes to be his wife. I know some of you guys are religious. If you don't read the Bible because it's boring and it's long and it's just tedious to read it, and you might just pick it up to look at verses, you should try to read Esther. I mean, it's only a couple pages long, it's super short, and it's very empowering. I'm down to the last 2 books of my favorite books of all time. And it's The Host, my second to last favorite book, second to first favorite book. The Host by Stephanie Meyer. This is my favorite book until this other book came along. It's so long, and it's a perfect one book. People say Stephanie Meyer can't write. Well, then you haven't read The Host, Have ya? No, haters. I've reread this book the most times out of my entire library. I read this once a year, and I've been reading it since 2008. So I read it 5 times. I read books twice, maybe, if they're really good. But this one, 5 times. 5 times. If you need help in visualizing the characters, watch the movie, because Max Irons is beautiful and Saoirse Ronan is perfect as Melanie/Wanderer. When I first read this book, I remember I fan casted in my head Sophia Bush as Melanie Wanderer. Then I fan casted Jared Padalecki as Jared, and then Ian Somerhalder as Ian. Maybe because their names were the same, I don't know. And yeah, those were my 3 characters in my head. But I do think the movie cast is pretty awesome, and I love the movie. The movie's on Netflix, if you didn't know. And my favorite book of all time is Outlander. This is obviously a new favorite if you have not been watching my channel, and maybe you just like watching this video for the first time ever. Yeah, I talk about Outlander a whole lot. I read it at the end of August this year, so it's only been a couple months. But I mean, it's literally changed my life, and the show is amazing, and I just love this so much. The first book is so far the best. I've only read the first 3. I stopped because I was going to read all of them, and I don't want to do that yet. I want to kind of spread them out as the TV show keeps going. But Outlander, if you did not know, is about a woman who gets transported back in time from the 1940s to the 1700s. And she gets thrown in this whirlwind of kilts and armies and British people and Scotland, and she meets Jamie Fraser, and that's all you need to know, and then you'll read it, okay? Read it now. This is not a recognizable copy of Outlander. I still don't have the real copy. I want the $20 red squishy version of it. This is my favorite book of all time. New favorite book of all time. I wonder if I will ever read a book that will top this one, because this book gave me all the feels. I cried, I laughed, I was happy, I was angry. Oh my gosh, I was so angry, and I was everything under the sun, and it's an adult book. I feel like I connect more with adult books these days. Okay, so those are my favorite books of all time. I feel like I was about to yawn. I'm sure I'll have more favorite books as I age, but I really need to set the groundwork with that one. If you want to get any of these books for your friends, or for Christmas presents, or for yourself, I will have them linked all down below. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can press that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you in another video. Keep calm and fangirl on. Bye! These are my 5 Twilight confessions. These are some of the most embarrassing, ridiculous, stupid, fun things. Hi-yo! Hair. No, don't fall. Super future. I'm pointing this way because it's that. The future's that way, obviously. Can you keep a secret? Wait, does she get drunk? I can't remember. Wait, no. Bye! Oh wait, I have to turn these around. Ah! I'm like Christina, I'm dropping books. No!